Men are the most horrible.
President, I would charge men a tax for simply existing, and then I would use the funds to educate and liberate all of the women across the world that don't have the opportunities that I do.
And you wonder why no man is clamoring for a woman to become a president. Because here's the thing, this is feminism for you. You don't want equality, you want power. Right? That's modern day wokeism. You don't want equality, you want power. You want power over the people that you think oppress you. And here's the insanity, right? So you would rather hurt you are a president, right? You would rather hurt your citizens and protect people that aren't your citizens. That's logical. That wouldn't, produce a coup d'etat, right? That wouldn't produce rebellion. You want to hurt your own citizens to care for people that don't even care about you. This is why, right? So I'm sorry, a lot of women don't really use logic, right? They get degrees, but they do a lot of things that really don't show intelligence. And this is the thing, I've talked to a lot of intelligent women, but I'm sorry, internet women, especially internet women, right? So I'm distinguishing. A lot of them, even though they have degrees, they're not very intelligent. Because it's like you wonder why rebellions happen. You want to tax, hurt, and abuse your citizen, half of your population that you run, to care for a population that don't even know you, that didn't even vote for you, that didn't even care for you. Yeah, that makes sense. And again, this is what I always like to. That's what I just said, right? A lot of people, especially nowadays, right, when it comes to different races, genders, people don't want equality. They just want the power to now be the abusers, right? They want to make what they believe that are the abusers into the victims. So I think it's a bigger conversation, right? Where it's funny that you are surprised that there are abusers and victims, because it's a cycle. It's a cycle where people that were victims want to become the abusers, right? And I'm not saying that men are the abusers or women are the victims. No, I'm just saying what people perceived, right? So you wonder why people who have power abuse. Because again, when people gain power, they are abusive. Even if they're women, even if they're of a different race. So it's like, it's very, it's a deep conversation. But I'm just saying it's funny.
As a fat person, I often dread medical appointments because of blatant medical fat phobia. The last OB appointment I went to, the provider blamed everything on my weight and told me that I needed to go on medication. This OB appointment that I just went to, I've been dreading, and the provider was amazing. She asked me what my pronouns are. She asked me about my name. She just was like, great.
Never mind.
No one's scared of fat people, okay? Here's the thing. I think that women, a lot of women in particular, or just modern day society, we are ruining people, right? The woke, the participation award crowd, all this stuff, we're ruining people. And especially women like that doctor, she's ruined. Who cares about the pronouns? That's not gonna help her health. Who cares about, it's like catering to people's feelings. This is a thing where feelings trump everything nowadays. And I think it's making people way too weak, sensitive, and just delusional. It's like the male doctor was on point. If you are deficient in health, if your health is lacking, it is straight up your weight. So him wanting to know your pronouns means what? It's like, this is a thing where I see this around so much in our society right now. We care about the craziest shit ever. It's like we have no other problems, so we want to create some, or we want to do things to delude ourselves to reality. You care about a doctor asking your pronouns, yet your actual health you criticize, right? A doctor that worries about your health, you criticize. A doctor that cares about your pronouns, you love. Yeah. I just think it's sad. I honestly think that we are ruining our people, right? We are ruining our society with how we've become, how I don't know.
He says, y'all don't want the nice black guy, is known as me. The guy that opens up doors, takes out the trash, pumps your gas, and shops with you, not only at the grocery store, but in clothing stores too. Listen, most black men are not doing any of these things. Okay? Because if they were, the community would not be riddled with single mothers and black women raising their children by themselves. If this was most black men. It's only a few of y'all. We can count the number of men in our community who do these things. And I saw that you left 3 comments, actually, that were all pertaining to this right here. So it sounds like you have been rejected. As you say, these women don't want a man like you. So that sounds like some rejection. And my advice for you would be to go and heal.
I make my content speaking up and defending men. So I can't help but jump in and defend black men. Why? Because here's the thing. I've come to view that black women, especially, not all, right? Not all black women, but especially the internet black women, seem to be the most hated, the biggest haters of black men, right? Because here's the thing. She says she can count in her hand how many men are like that, how many black men are like that. And I think that's ridiculous. Because I honestly think you don't. I think you can't. Because here's the thing. Women like this, and sad reality that a lot of black women ignore the awkward man, awkward black man, the geeky black man, shit like that. Because here's the thing. Or the respectful black man, the gentleman black man. Because those men, right, sad as it is, are viewed as squares in the black community. Because or ignored or not desirable, right? Because again, women like the tough guy image, right? And here's also the thing where it correlates with her supposed lies, right? Saying, all the single mother women in the black community. Because here's the thing where I honestly believe this image I'm going to show you breaks up a lot of her argument. You can find the statistics online, right? To prove that you actually can't count in your hands how many, at least kind of what you can assume good black men, right? Over half, more than half, right? Black men are single and childless, okay? A good chunk of black men are actually middle class. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? So really, I think, although it's not 100% concrete, but you can get correlation that, there are actually more proper, right, black men out there than there are baby daddies out there, okay? Just so weirdly happens that a lot of women choose the terrible black men because they ignore the good men. And here's the thing why I want to keep this up, because it's funny, right? It's funny that women can't read statistics because, again, black women especially, internet black women, terrible, toxic black women, not all, right? Because, surprise, surprise, I date a lot of black women, that they will ignore or treat terribly the good men, especially good black men. Because here's the thing, right? Where she said, he needs to help? No. Because when women ignore good men and rather date or only view or see the terrible men in their surroundings, I think women need to heal, right? Women need to heal and wake up. That why are you not recognizing good men? Why are you not actually going after, competing for good men? That's the thing. Because I know a lot of good black men. They're just not desirable, right? They're just not, wanted. And also, this statistic shows you that, you know what? There are actually a lot of black men that do pretty well financially, but women ignore those men. And it also shows you that, you know what? I think a lot of women are doing the Nick Cannons and the Futures and the Cam Newtons, situations where a lot of women are having children by just one man, right? A lot of women are becoming baby mamas thanks to a select few of bad men. But this is more than I think it's sad that it seems like internet black women, especially, are the biggest haters of black men. So women that share your reflection push these kind of propagandas, saying that there's more bad black men out there than there are good. Or how about, it's not that you ignore the good men, right? Or that you don't go after the good men. So I just think it's sad that women that you're of your own reflection would just say shit like that about you.
What I think a lot of men don't realise, and women will vouch for me, we don't actually say what we mean, we say what we feel. Mic drop.
That's a very difficult thing for a lot of guys to comprehend, because we hear what you say and then we think that's what you mean. Because men speak and think in terms of logic. And if you say something, we assume that's probably what you mean. But what you're saying is that often you might say something that you feel which isn't actually what you mean.
Yes.
See, I can...
It's not a mic drop. Because here's the thing. Men know it. Men know it. But this is a thing where men can't read minds, right? This is why, which I will have a clip of it, is that why a lot of men they don't care what you say. They will only watch what you do, right? It's your actions, not your words. Because again, women make things difficult. These are the women that say that they are so emotionally intelligent, that men lack communications. But in all honesty, that ain't good communication, right? Because that way of thinking is that you expect a man to be able to read your mind. And men don't do that. Men can't. No one can do that, right? No one can do that. So men don't care. They rather be direct. And that's the point where we have arguments in relationships and stuff, right? Or even through social media, right? Debates, conversations. It becomes hard because, again, women are led by their emotions, but they say shit that don't really follow with their actual emotions. So men take what women say by surface value. But then when men listen to the things that women say, not how they feel, they get chastised or whatever, right? But men know it. Men know it. But you just there's no way to work around it, right? There's really no way to work around it unless you can read minds. So that's why a lot of men are, you know what? I ain't gonna listen to what you say. I'd rather just follow what you do, right? Your actions. That's the thing.
What do women really want?
I don't care what they want. I only care what they respond to. See, my focus is a little bit different from your other guests. There's what women say they want, there's what women think they want, and then there's what they actually respond to. I'm not an academic, I'm not a theoretician. I'm interested in what works on the street when it's time to date and mate. And what women actually respond to is not what they say they want.
So what do they respond to?
They really respond to a guy who's a challenge, a guy who's a question mark, a guy who keeps them guessing. You see, in the beginning, the less attractive you are physically, the more you have to rely on your attitude. And that's what I wrote my book for. I wrote my book for the average-looking, even ugly guy who goes out there in the real world and tries to be a nice guy, gets his head kicked in.
So no more Mr. Nice Guy.
You can be pleasant. You see, we got to define our terms. By nice, I mean accommodating. When you accommodate, you get what the commode gets. You get the crapola. You have to learn how to say
like, come
no.
in your cell. I got 2 knives. I slide you one, say, nigga, fight for your ass. That's how that shit going.
Fight for my what? This is the thing, right? I can never understand why people commit crimes. I'm sorry. I don't care if I'm hurting for money, because I cannot survive in prison. I cannot. I know I won't. I know I'll be a bottom. I know I will. I know I will. I won't survive. I would rather. Okay, because I can't do it. I'm not here trying to be a tough guy. So I cannot understand why any man or whatever would commit crimes, because I don't want to fight for that. I don't want to fight. I don't want to, I can't do it. That's why I was like, and this is the thing where I can never understand, because I've seen the I don't know, the Netflix documentaries or the shows of the prison life. It's like, why? Why would you? I don't care. I don't need fast money. I don't. I enjoy my freedom. I enjoy not getting my shit pushed. I enjoy that. I mean, it's like, I can't, I'm sorry. I cannot understand anybody wanting to commit a crime. I really cannot understand that mentality. It amazes me that people don't understand. I see the consequences. I don't want to go there. I don't want to live that life. I really don't. And the stories I hear, I've heard stories from prisoners coming out, is like the majority of men, they get the abuse. They get the DV, or they get the SV, right? Is that the SB, whatever? I mean, they get raped. And I'm not no tough guy. I'm not gonna admit that, right? I do not want to live that life. I do not want to even experience that life. So, and like I said, I hear people coming out of it, and they say most men that go in there, they come out haven't experienced it. And I don't want to do that. I can't do that, right? Because this is the thing, right? Honestly, a lot of women say that a lot of things have happened to them, right? Well, I've heard that and this is only stories I've heard, right? More things have happened to men because of the prison thing. If you include prison statistics, actually more or equally, right, things have happened to men if you include prison statistics. And it's a scary thing. I'm sorry. I can't. I really. I don't know how desperate anyone can be. I really don't. The violence and the kind of abuse, it amazes
So
me.
it's your first date and you don't know where to go in London. Let me help you guys out. So, Lane 7 is a bowling alley, arcade, and cocktail.
Let me say something. No woman or man or whatever deserves a bad to be violated in any kind of way. It's not a deserving thing. But here's the thing where we never talk about it, or we don't recognize it. Accountability. We don't talk about accountability, because again, you have dressing like this, right? You see it. The women's that go to the gym dressing crazy skimpy clothes, or women just dress like this out in the public. It's not like you deserve it, but you gotta understand self-accountability. You have a hand in playing to the certain kind of outcomes, okay? You contributed to certain kind of outcomes. That's the thing where we can't understand. No one ever talks about self-accountability. You had a hand in it, okay? You had a hand in attracting terrible men. You had a hand in attracting or putting yourself into bad situations. Doesn't mean that, bad situations should happen to you. But this is the thing where it seems like a lot of people think that we live in a utopia, right? A lot of people think that we live in a utopia. A lot of people are so delusional to what reality is. There are good and bad people, both men and women, both any kind of gender, any kind of race. There are both good and bad people, okay? You cannot control bad people. You can't. The laws are there, yet bad people still do bad shit. But what you can control, okay? What you can do is yourself. That's the thing. That's the one thing, okay, that you can do, right? You can not go out dressed like this. Dressed like you're calling for attention, right? Say, look at me, notice me, right? If bad men see, or just bad people, right? Look at me, bad people, look at me, right? Notice me. That's the thing where I want to point out that yes, no woman, especially women, right? They don't deserve, or they should bad things happen to them. But this is the thing. I'm sorry, I'm not saying all cases, right? But in a lot of cases, a lot of women, they put themselves into situations that can call for bad situations, okay? But like I said, I'm not saying that that women deserve it. No, but what I'm saying is that a lot of people do not understand accountability. Life, reality does not owe you understanding. They do not owe you kindness. Life does not owe you kindness, plain and simple. Life is not going to work how you want it to work. That's how it is. The only thing you can do in life is control yourself, okay? Sadly, you can't control other people. Even more sadly, you can't control bad people. That's what I'm going to talk about. So this is like, honestly, this is ridiculous, okay? I mean, hell, I like looking at it, right? It's nice to look at, but I just think about, like, I just hope bad shit don't happen to her. But then you would think that bad shit can or has a high likelihood of happening to her because you're dressed like that. And as sad, as terrible as it sounds, well, that is reality that a lot of people seem to neglect, right?
Hey, y'all, did you spit on me?
You know, women gotta understand, right? With the death of the gentleman, the chivalry, and the rise of the strong, independent women, you gotta understand now that men, a lot of men, especially modern day men, see equality. That's all they see. They see equality. So when you lay your hands on men, when you disrespect strangers, okay? You disrespect strangers, you spit on strangers, okay? Let alone someone you know, right? A man that you know, doesn't matter. But when you show disrespect in public to men, there's only one. I mean, like, you got to think that these men are not going to hold back, or they're not going to care, right? They're really not going to care, because this is the thing where this is the rise of strong, independent women. You don't need no man. Cool. So you're equal to men, all right? That's the thing where a lot of women seem to not understand. You want to be equal to men. So if you treat men a certain way, you will only get that same energy back. Plain and simple. No matter if you're not actually physically equal to a man or not. Because if you treat men, if you expect equality, well, men will give it to you. Especially modern day men, okay? With how society is, you want equality, men will give it to you. So this is the thing a lot of women gotta understand. Like, treat people how you want to be treated. Spitting on someone, hitting someone, touching someone, it's ridiculous. People gotta, like, really just, you know, keep to themselves, right? Keep to themselves. Don't enter other people's spaces. Don't bother people. It's like, yes, it's in this situation, it's your ex. Okay, you moved on. You guys are not together. Why spit on the person? It's ridiculous. The case is, why even hit the person? Why touch the person? Why do anything? If you guys are not together, the best case of revenge is that you move on and you are in a better space. That is more revenge or more damaging than you spitting on somebody. It's absolutely ridiculous.